I wanted to do comics right out of college. I'm like, okay, I'll do some fan art for like Marvel, DC, stuff like that. And then I really just hit a wall, but then I did this like pixel art tutorial and it just really spoke to me. And I was already always into kind of classic games. My art friends, they would never give me too much feedback, but they actually were giving me like positive feedback when I started making some pieces. I made like this Legend of Zelda piece, I did some other fan art for other games, and I was experimenting with like bright colors and whatnot. And people were like actually responding to it like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you know, starting to figure out what makes me happy and what makes other people happy, I guess. So, and I just kept going with it. I feel like it's sort of like an impressionism, because it's not like I draw a circle, the shapes are really defined on what those are. But then with pixel art, it's not a real circle. It's squares on a diagonal, and then a straight line, and then a diagonal again. And when you look at like classic impressionism and I think Van Gogh and stuff like that, it's dots, it's just like paint splotches. But that's an analog way. It's like paint, it's just like, there's not always defined shapes, it's just like splotches of paint. But you back up and you're like, wow, that's like this beautiful pond with lily pads and flowers. So when I'm working on my stuff, I'm like, if my brain's not really like flowing with the way that structure looks, that silhouette looks, or if it doesn't really look like Samus, if it's off, like, then just keep working on it and keep playing with like the shape and whatnot, until my brain is immediately like, I know what that is. When you get into pixel art, you get into dithering and like different ways that you shade, which is like yellow, brown, yellow, it's like a checkerboard, like dithering type thing. I try to keep it like if Super Nintendo graphics were like super widescreen, is kind of like where I'm like playing with resolution. And then I do start off with grayscale. So everything's like within about black, white, and 2 or 3 grays. And then once I have stuff kind of blocked out, then when I have like that kind of locked in, I'm like, okay, so where's the lighting? Is it purple here and teal here? And then like, where's like the lighting coming from? So, and then I play with that a lot. And you know that you have to stick to like a little bit of a, like keeping your color palettes fairly small and then just kind of playing around with it. But I'll, like that layer, I'll do that shading like once, won't like it, do it a third time. And then maybe I'm like, you know, the shape of it, the whole leg is like, I gotta redo it, so let's just chip away at it. It's a little bit like carving, because it's just squares. So I can like pick and pull at like the squares and be like, that's the shape I want. Like that's the shape of the helmet, that's the shape of the arms. And when I'm doing that stuff, I'm just not thinking anymore. It's like going with the flow. When people see my work, from afar, they're like, oh, cool, that looks pretty. And they come up closer and they're like, oh, it's pixel art, very cool. And they're like, oh, look at all the little details and squares and whatnot. So they don't usually expect it to be in print form. I do make prints and I make stickers, and stickers are cool. I can do like a character. I try to do like different environments. I'm a 90s kid and I just started embracing that more. Nerd culture wasn't like super popular for a while, so slowly letting myself become who I'm gonna be, who I am, and embrace what you were or what you were into, and then also embracing like what you're becoming.